Welcome to Sage Advice, Conversations in Construction with Dustin Stephens, a conversation series that examines some of the unique challenges and groundbreaking innovations in the world of construction and real estate. In this episode, we're covering everything from attracting top talent to creating a winning company culture and why it's important to prioritize the mental well-being of your employees. Let's drop in.
All right, today we're going to talk about addressing the skilled labor shortage in the construction industry. And as most of you know on our panel, construction is challenging. It's not for the faint of heart. Despite the subject we're going to go over today, we already have the challenges you guys have to overcome every single day in inflation, supply chain, raising costs, increased competition, the risks that you have to face in the construction industry. And then on top of that, we have this historical that we've never unprecedented labor shortage in the United States. And depending on what you believe out there, it's anywhere from 500,000 to maybe potentially 1 million laborers short that we need to be able to keep up with the construction demands. And then you hear other stats. So for you have an aging workforce that's retiring, we're not recruiting the younger talent to come replace that. Last stat I heard was, for every 7 that goes out, you maybe get 1 back in. And so construction companies have had to get innovative, creative, and address new ways to embrace this new climate, this new change. And today we're going to talk about a couple of those areas. And one's around attracting and keeping top talent and some of the great things you guys have done in that area, as well as embracing technology and what technology have you guys used to help address this particular subject and the skilled labor shortage. Before we get started, I want to introduce you to our esteemed panels. I'll start with you, Matt Abels, if you give your title, what you do.
So Matt Abels, I am the Vice President of Construction Technology and Innovation for Associated Builders and Contractors. As an association, we have about 23,000 member companies. And what we do as an association is we make sure that we help them be safer, more profitable, win more work, and do that work ethically. And we help our member contractors in many ways, from helping upskill them to teaching them and educating them about technology, but preparing them to do those things I mentioned, being safer, more profitable, and being leaders in the industry. And as an association, we are founded on the Merit Shop philosophy and one of the oldest trade organizations in the country.
That's great. And now, Julie Strong.
My name is Julie Strong. I'm the CEO of C1S Group. We are an engineering and construction firm based in Dallas. So our specialty is in the commercial and industrial manufacturing spaces. So we really, we don't chase so much new construction as a lot of our work is renovation work inside operating facilities and helping our clients just solve problems with their aging facilities.
Great.
And my name is Thomas Cochran. I am the CFO for New West Building Company, which is a regional general contractor that specializes in high-end projects based in Jackson Hole. We also have offices around the Rocky Mountain West.
Great locations.
Indeed.
All right, well, let's jump into it. We'll start with cultivating, a winning environment that's want to keep your talent and attract more talent. I saw a social media post. This just happens to be one construction worker. I don't know if this happens to relate to you. His comment is that we don't have a labor shortage. What we want is a place to go where we get benefits, where we get treated well. We want, and that's what they're looking for. That was his comments. And I know, Julie, you've done some amazing, innovative things at your company, winning you 100 best places to work in America, as well as the 50 best places to work in America. So I wanted to start with you. What kind of innovative things, what got you there to create that culture? And can you expand upon that and what you've done at your company?
I grew up around the construction industry, and particularly around TD Industries, and their primary driving belief is in servant leadership, that the best way to lead is by serving those you lead and helping them grow. And that company really instilled in me the belief that taking care of your people is job one. So if you take care of your people, if you have good people, they're good at what they do, they're happy in their work, they'll take care of their customers, and their customers will take care of you. And that is a sustainable cycle that can just keep going on and on. But it starts with your people. And so what we recognize now more than ever is that our folks have headhunters calling them every single day. They've got choices. And so they want to choose to stay at C1S. And so our job is to make sure, they're given 100% of their professional capital to C1S, and my job is to make sure that C1S is worth it. It's a great place for them. We've got benefits that fit their needs. We work hard at what we call just life balance. We don't call it work-life balance because nobody turns it off when you go home, or nobody turns it off when you come in the morning. And so making sure there's no guilt around, going to your kid's school performance, going to the doctor, taking a great vacation, building systems and processes, and staffing up to, allow people to have a quality of life that they can do great work and feel rewarded, and also live a life that meets their highest goals.
That's amazing. And I'm sure as a result of that, they become your number one recruiters, I would imagine.
Yes, we have a lot of great internal referrals. We don't have to use headhunters as much as some, which is really nice.
That's great. That's amazing. And I want to go to Thomas. What can at New West? What have you guys done to be innovative and create the culture that's unique to your company?
Yeah. So in order to build high quality projects, you need high quality people. You need people who are motivated to come to work, who are excited about their career prospects, who are going to tell their friends about the homes that they're building and the skills that they're learning. And the skills that they're learning hopefully are going to be potentially transferable to a business that they may start in the future. We want to empower our employees to grow in their roles, and we want to give them processes that allow them to tackle some of the challenges that we face in the Rocky Mountains: weather, schedule, sub and material availability. Some of these really kind of unmanageable challenges need high quality processes in order to solve.
And that's unique that you say that. If they go out and they're the future business owners that you might be training, are you transparent to say, hey, this is what we truly care about as a company? And if it goes on to where you create your own business,
we try really hard to not put our employees in a box. If someone's a carpenter, why can't they become a trim carpenter, a master carpenter, a general super, maybe a COO, maybe an owner of the company in the future? And if not every employee is motivated to build their skill in a promotion style like that, but we believe every employee does want to feel valued, and they want to feel like they're being treated fairly. And if they are motivated to grow their career, we want to be there and grow with them.
All right, now turning to you, Matt, as a little bit unique, not owning a construction company, but talking to construction companies all across North America. What are some of the things that you've seen construction companies doing that's unique or innovative to create company culture that attracts talent, keeps their talent, to address the shortage of skilled laborers?
Well, I think, Julie hit it on the head. There are headhunters calling companies of all sizes at ABC right now. As it doesn't matter what size of contractor company you are, you need to do a better job of making sure that your people are, from what I see, appreciated, but you're also giving them, the extra stuff, a career path that is going to give them multiple years in the future to do the things that they want to do. One of the things as a merit shop association is there's so many different ways to take someone's career. If someone wants to be an owner of a construction company down the road, give them that education, give them that opportunity to get management skills, leadership skills. As far as the labor shortage, there's the last numbers that came out of ABC is 540,000 people are needed just to complete the work over the next 12 months. So there is a labor fight going on right now. And one of the things I've seen recently, some of the bigger companies, they're having big employee appreciation parties every year where they're bringing everyone from all their different divisions across the country, getting them together and having everyone feel appreciated and part of a team. Bringing in people who may just be in the field doing the same job at one company. Maybe they give them opportunities to be innovative leaders, other opportunities that you might not get at another company. But it is a little bit of extra in showing people that you care about their career growth, that you care about them, that you appreciate their work. And also the other side is, especially in today's environment, everyone wants to know that they're going to be safe. We live in a time where I don't think that, it's acceptable to have accidents on job sites. I think now there is enough information, knowledge, and technology in place where all incidents are preventable, in my opinion. So I do think safer, more innovative environments are going to help that. And then the last thing I'd mention is, there's a big push to making sure that everyone is, how do I best describe this? There's a mental health crisis going on in construction, and making sure that those resources are available. On the safety front, there is There is one thing for keeping everyone safe for job site incidences, but 5 times as many people, there are 5 times more people that die from suicide in construction than actual job site fatalities. So that investment in total human health, which includes mental health, is something we've invested in, and we've tried to get that to our different construction companies. And again, just investing in people.
And that's a great point. You hear it, but we don't talk a lot about it, especially in the construction, the mental health and suicide and just that, you never know what people are going through. You mentioned that companies coming in, creating these collaborative environments, flying from across the country, get them more exposed to their fellow colleagues. We'll start with you, Julie. Incorporated, events, collaborations. You have processes to foster more collaboration, create that family environment, help with potentially, do you have those systems in place, and how have you?
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Right. Since the pandemic, especially, I mean, we had a remote work policy before the pandemic, but obviously everybody went remote for some period of time, and for some people it works great, but for the whole, it does take a lot of extra effort then to maintain your culture, much less improve it. And so it does take a lot of intentionality, to your point. I think it's something that we have metrics around when we gather outside the office, on the teams, how often the teams get together, and are they meeting with other teams? Are they cross-team gathering? Are they whole company gathering? We have an all-hands meeting every quarter, and they all have themes like Halloween costume contest or a chili cook-off, or one's called tamales and beer in the plan for the year, just whatever it takes to get people excited to come into the office, to get together. And then that's when you start, building some collaboration. You build some network with people that some people have been hired since the pandemic, and folks haven't met them but a handful of times in 3 years. And so that stuff is really important to make sure, one, you're getting good collaboration, but two, that people aren't getting isolated and struggling, interpersonally. One thing we notice is that our young folks aren't growing as quickly because they're not sitting next to someone in a cube. They're not ear hustling that thing that they're hearing their boss talk to someone else about and making a note of, oh, I better make sure I do that. Everybody has to stub their toes almost individually. And so we're struggling a little bit with our onboarding and with our growth, just because they're not getting that same exposure that you get from your peers when you're sitting next to each other. So it takes a lot of intentionality, metrics around it, leadership's focused on it. And then we survey and we ask folks how they're doing. We don't dive expressly into mental health, but we ask how their team health is. And we watch those numbers over time. And we have some benchmarks pre-pandemic that we're making sure we stay close to.
And even more important follow-up question, tamales and beer event, when's the next one?
Yes, those are always in January.
January.
Yes, so next time you're in Dallas in
February.
January. Sorry, you missed it.
Okay. And you mentioned, I'm just curious, you mentioned being teamed up with somebody or someone who's been in the industry, and pair up with someone who's just fresh into the industry, and you say, hey, you sit your workers down, like, what is it you want to be, a master carpenter? Do you put out a path? Do you create, like, hey, we're gonna team you up with a mentor if this is what your path is, and here's some set awards? Like, have you implemented anything like that in your?
Yeah, so all of our projects have teams. No project just has a single employee working on it. I mean, that team may be 2 people or it may be 10 people. And then that team is being supported both above from leadership or executive leadership. It's also being supported by the back office. We do a lot of the same things that Julie does, from all hands meetings. We do a big party in the summer. We do a big party in the winter. And that's kind of important for us because of the seasonal change. People really like that, and there's a different vibe at both of those. And we also try really hard to keep like the flexibility that our employees value, but at the same time, it's really important that there's face time. They know who they're working with. The more we can break down the walls of like, this is a person on an email, this is their name, to this is actually that person I'm sitting to and talking to, the better the relationships have. It's just I always tell people that construction is so hard as is. We don't need to make it harder by the way we're operating. Like, it's super technically difficult. I have no idea how to build personally, but I do know that the more we can be open and transparent, and again, on those teams, when we compare, someone who's more senior with maybe someone who's starting out. Like, it's a good way for the person starting out to bring some new ideas to the senior, and then for the senior just share their experience with someone starting out. And the more we can cross collaborate like that, the better we think we can do.
We've seen a lot of companies do what I call dual education, but the new individuals to a company are teaching the veterans about technology and how to use some of the new innovative tools that they grew up at 3 years old on, and the veterans are teaching them about the trades. And it's a way to cross collaborate, but to your point, get them together in person and learn from each other. But we have seen that as a common practice as of late.
Join us for episode 2 as we discuss attracting a new generation of workers, how to help current workers embrace new technology, and more. Until next time.